Well, thank you all for joining me. Tracy Chamberlain Higginbotham here in exciting Syracuse, New York, for our October member-only Women Ties meeting. And I so appreciate that all of you are here. I always hope that this hour is an investment in yourself, in being able to promote and share what it is that you do or what you sell, and especially with the holidays coming up, which is still the biggest quarter of the year where sales happens. Make sure to mention anything that you're selling or promoting that can be used as holiday gifts. What I thought we would do, I would still love to have more members joining us. And sometimes we do, sometimes it's the day that this meeting falls on, day during the week or whenever. But if any of you are interested in writing a testimonial, a 1 or 2 paragraph testimonial on what you've learned or even who you've met or how it's helped you, I can put it on the homepage of our Women Ties website. So you get a little more PR, and then I'll promote it within our social media too. So you can just email it simply to me and I will get it up. Some of our testimonials stay on our homepage at least for 2 weeks, if not sometimes 4 weeks. So again, and your name and your business name goes along with that testimonial. Jody has done it before for us, not necessarily for this, but for other things. And, it's just a great way to promote yourself, plus sort of share what Women Ties does. You should have received the sales contact list. And again, sort of a small and mighty group of women that are meeting today. But again, I love the fact that we have Rochester, Seneca Falls, and Utica, New Hartford with us today on the phone call, because Women Ties still remains regional. And I really don't want to say oh, here comes Renee. So perfect timing, because I'm going to have you two say all of your introductions in a moment. Hi, Renee. We are excited to have you with us. And we're just going to start our introduction part. So we'll let you get settled. I'll have you go last on it. Renee is from Rochester, knows Linda, and hopefully all of you sort of are becoming familiar with each other as well. So Renee, I just did a little bit of an introduction, but not a super long one. I'm going to have all of you give your 5-minute introductions, and then we'll open it up for conversation. So let's start with Sadie Ann joined first. I try to just go in order by which people jump on, and you can unmute yourself, Sadie Ann, and I'll watch the time. And there you go. Perfect.
Hey, thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I think everybody knows me. I represent Market America, and my business is called A Strong and Healthy You. And I focus, while we have a lot of categories of products, I focus mainly on the healthcare line of amazing vitamins and nutritional nutraceuticals, I should say. And today I'll just talk about something I don't think I ever mentioned before, but I was thinking about it because I just took my supplements a little later this morning. So, and this happens to be a multivitamin mix, calcium, OPC3, which is a high antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and B complex, and vitamin D, all in one little drink that I sip for maybe half an hour at the most. And it's what we call a custom cocktail. If people are taking more than 2 isotonic supplements, it makes it so easy just to put them all into one little cup and drink them. And this is what the container looks like. Isotonics custom cocktail. And it has all the ingredients on the back. So I get all of it in one fell swoop, and I just drink it instead of having all these pills to think about. I don't like taking a lot of pills, although I still take omega-3s, which really only come in a capsule filled with oil. You can't very well mix that in as an isotonics. And CoQ10. But I really attribute this to my longevity and my health, my good health. And it helps with skin as well as hair, nails. Many of my customers are amazed at how their nails grow so quickly and are so happy that their nails are growing. So anyway, those are some of that's one of the new things I'm talking about. I'm not sure if this looks backwards to you, but it does to me in this picture. It says isotonics. Okay, thank you. So pretty much that's it. If you're ever interested, just let me know and we can talk about how to make that happen.
Yeah, let me ask you this, just because you have a few more minutes on here. Is it something that is ordered, somebody would join your team through Shop America and order it on their own? Do they specifically order it through you? How does ordering that work?
I usually want, if someone has never ordered from me before, then you're not in my customer base.
Okay.
So what I like to do is put someone in my customer base and either order that first order for them or walk them through the shop.com website or my isotonics. We have various web portals, and I have one specifically for isotonics and other supplements.
Okay.
So people can do that if they're comfortable. I have some customers who simply are not comfortable going online and trying to figure it out and what to order. So I'm happy to work with people on that.
Terrific. Well, thank you very much. And you are a testament. Look how wonderful you look. You're a testament to what you do and what you live and what you sell. So thank you very much, Sadie Ann.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I think next on was, oh geez, I'm gonna go with Linda. I don't know if it was Linda or Jody, but I'll go with Linda. Sorry, Jody, I was just like, I don't know which one.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's okay. All right. So my name's Linda Healer. I'm a professional certified coach, and I am the host of the Normal Lies podcast. And in my coaching, I help women to kind of break free of that voice in their head, learn the lies that it's been telling them for years. And after doing this for 10 years and helping dozens of people, I just decided I want to expand my reach. And that's why I started my podcast. So Normal Lies is about identifying the lies that we tell ourselves. And it's also identifying the lies that we've been born into and in society. So I guess what I'd really love for you to do is, if you have a chance, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, or you can go to normal-lies.com and pick an episode and listen. Find a topic that you might be interested in. We talk about, oh gosh, what do we talk about? We talk about someone came on who had a problem with addiction, and she said she'd been living a lie. Nobody knew about it. So she came on the podcast, and that was when everybody knew her as this wonderful businesswoman. And then she said, guess what? I used to be an addict. So we talk about faith and religion and having those difficult conversations, because I've been afraid to have them. Politics. I just had a conversation with someone about politics. I've been afraid to have them because they can be so polarizing, but we need to talk about these things. So I talk about coaching on there too, explain what it is, what it isn't. And I just want to go back to, as a coach, you can go to liveinspiredlifecoaching.com. I've got a brand new updated website. And right now I'm running a promotion that if you have a 30-minute coaching consultation with me, which is completely complimentary, you'll also get a copy of Eliza Van Court's book, A Woman's Guide to Claiming Space. Stand tall, raise your voice, be heard. You get this for free. So this is an amazing book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. And then how much time do I have, Tracy? How are we doing?
You still have 2 minutes and 30 seconds. 2 minutes.
Holy cow. That's a long time. So I just want to tell, the only thing I want to say, and then if anybody has a question, is my coaching consultations are really different because I talk about what the client, what you want to create. We talk about what you want, and then we see if it's a fit. Is coaching a fit, or are you looking for counseling? Or are you just looking for somebody to tell you what to do? That's not me. And then you walk away with knowing what you're looking for in a coach, because I tell people it's not a requirement, but it is a recommendation that you interview at least one or two other coaches. And when you walk away from that coaching consultation, you'll know exactly what you're looking for in a coach. And whether I'm a fit for you or not, I just want to make sure that you get what it is that you want, because coaching is about going into those dark places. You don't have to do it alone. You want your coach to go with you, and creating and seeing that in those dark spaces, there's nothing but dust bunnies. But you got to shine the light on it, and you got to do the work. I'm going to show up and I'm going to coach, but it's your work to do. And so you've got to find the right coach. Otherwise, it's like taking your time and money and throwing it out the window. So I'm really passionate about that.
Awesome. Well, that sounds great. And I'm glad you explained it too, because there are a lot, just in my 26 years of being a woman entrepreneur, there weren't a lot of coaches 26 years ago. I mean, it sort of has something that has increased over time as a career option for women that are entrepreneurs. So I think that's really important to share that, they need to fit right, especially if you're going to be disclosing, sharing, important stuff with somebody. You got to feel the kind of kinship and spirit.
Exactly. And it's really important to also understand that anybody can print out a card and say that they're a coach. There are no state or federal regulations. So that's one thing that we talk about. Is it important to the potential client that the coach have training, certification, or credentialing? Because I can tell you, for me, it was very important that I got my credentialing, just for the confidentiality, just for the code of ethics that I have to follow. That was very important to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for explaining that. So glad again to have you here. So if you want to mute yourself, we'll go over to Jody. You've got 5 minutes, my dear.
All righty. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I am very happy to be here today. I think I missed last month. I just plain spaced it out. So I'm glad I made it this month. My name is Jody Brown. My business is Holy Education. It's a play on words. When I discovered that the words heal, whole, and holy all came from the same root word, I decided to make up this word holy, WHOLLY, Holy Education. It's a play on heal, whole, holy. I just in July 1st leased space here in Seneca Falls, where I do so many different things. I originally opened the space as a piano studio because I am a Suzuki piano teacher, and I have been doing that for 45 years now, which makes me sound, I started when I was 4. No. But I also, under my Holy Education umbrella, I'm a Master Reiki practitioner. I do Reiki. I lead meditation classes there. I do health coaching. I am certified through the Institute of Integrative Nutrition as a certified health coach. And I also do women's retreats. And my women's retreats are called Journey to Inner Peace. And what I do at these retreats, they're very interactive. And I will say they're based on, I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Sarah Van Brannock's book, Simple Abundance. Well, back in 2008, Sarah led a couple of different trainings for those of us. I became a Simple Abundance certified leader. And so over the past, however many years that is, I don't even know what year it is now, but 13 years or so, I have been leading Simple Abundance retreats. And all of a sudden this spring, I realized that Sarah's journey really isn't my journey. Her journey it starts with gratitude, and she's got these 6 principles: gratitude, simplicity, order, harmony, beauty, joy. And it's how to get from gratitude to joy. And it's great. It's just, for me, mine starts with gratitude, because anything, gratitude is the foundation for everything in life. As Eckhart Tolle said, no, Meister Eckhart, I always get those two confused. If the only prayer you ever said was thank you, that would be enough. So I always start with gratitude, but mine goes gratitude, meditation, forgiveness, balance, and then that leads you to inner peace. So that's my journey. And I tell people at the beginning of the retreat that this is my journey. It might not be your journey either, but I hope that I can offer you some parts of my journey that might fit into your journey. So and I offer those at the space in Seneca Falls once a month, second Sunday of the month from 1 to 4 p.m. Also in Seneca Falls, we do this First Friday, the downtown bunch. It's called First Friday. They do it in Auburn too. I think Seneca Falls got the idea from Auburn. And there's different themes for the month. Today is First Friday, so I will be at my studio from 5 to 8 p.m. And the theme for this month is Celebrate Our History. And if you know anything about Seneca Falls, I hope you know that it is the birthplace of the women's rights movement in the United States. So I have a little quiz. If you happen to be in the Seneca Falls area tonight between 5 and 8 p.m., please stop by and take my little quiz. You will be entered in a drawing for a $25 gift certificate for any of the services I offer. And I think, in addition, if you know anybody who needs piano lessons in the Seneca Falls area, anybody who signs up for piano lessons tonight gets 20% off of their October lessons. And I think, Tracy, that is everything.
You're perfect.
I'm doing.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. See, the extra minutes of having less women on here helps sometimes. But I think I've mentioned before, I took piano lessons back when I was probably in 6th or 7th grade. My aunt, the one I've been talking about that's in surgery, all of them are really great piano players. So I thought I would take it, except that my mother, being athletic, was like, well, you need to bike to your piano lessons. So here I'd be like biking all the way. I think it was like 4 miles to the bike to do my lessons and bike back. So I only did it one summer. The biking got to me, even though now I love biking. So I have asked for a piano. I want to get a piano and start playing again. So I might be on.
Let me know, because I do also offer Zoom lessons.
Good.
So just
awesome.
So people know.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Good luck with your event tonight. Okay, it leaves us to our wonderful Renee Nierpas. And it is your turn, my friend. You can unmute yourself and go ahead and share what you want to share.
Thank you, Tracy. And Jody, I'm very familiar with Seneca Falls. I studied at the Finger Lakes School of Acupuncture at the New York Chiropractic College. And my husband's family is from Seneca Falls. So I don't know if you know any Nierpases, long line of them, but anyway, I do miss it and I love the area. So I'll have to be back soon. So thank you again, Tracy. My name is Renee Nierpas. I am a licensed acupuncturist in the state of New York, and I own Parrington Family Acupuncture in Fairport, New York, which is in the greater Rochester area. I do provide healthcare services based in traditional Chinese medicine, which incorporates acupuncture, Chinese herbs. I do some body work called Tui Na, Eastern dietary therapy. And I do sometimes teach the patients Qigong and Tai Chi based on their treatment plans. So all of these encompass Chinese medicine, and we put a nice treatment package together for patients based on their diagnosis. So patients come in, we do a full health screening, talk with them about what their major concerns are in terms of health and wellness, and we put that together for them, incorporating all those things if they're interested. Certainly acupuncture is my primary service. Most people are coming for that. They do love it. I specialize in certain areas. I am a family practice, so I do work a lot with women's health, and I work with children as well. And some people aren't aware that Chinese medicine can be beneficial for children, but they respond really, really well, sometimes more quickly than adults. So we do treat the entire family. I also have been more recently focusing on a detoxification and purification for patients. I've been doing a lot with women's health in terms of perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, in terms of balancing hormones. So acupuncture, there is evidence to support that in the research. We do also work with these patients in terms of providing herbal recommendations and nutrition based in Eastern thought. So I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a registered dietitian, but there is a long history of providing information based on the characteristics of food and how they work well with our body based on our bodies. So we can incorporate that as well. I do have an infrared sauna. That is not traditional Chinese medicine, but I love to incorporate that because it has great detoxifying properties for patients, as well as helping to promote circulation for pain, for a lot of different pain conditions. It can help increase cardiac output as well. So mainly it helps the body to produce a sweat, to detox the body on a cellular level, and then also helps promote blood flow through the body to help treat pain. So I have, and again, that can be a range of ages for people to use that, or people like to come and relax. They just love the relaxation effect of it as well. So we can incorporate that into patients' treatment plans too. If patients can't necessarily come into the office, then I do offer telehealth as well for patients in New York State. And that can include anywhere, again, from the Eastern dietary therapy to acupressure, which we can talk about. Auricular acupressure, we have these little beads that can be put on specific acupressure points on the ear. And I show patients how to do that through telehealth. And then we also do phototherapy patches where I know, I'm so sorry, you guys are showing all these beautiful things and I'm not prepared here. But it's just a little patch that can go on certain acupuncture points, which we use their phototherapy processes of the body, because we can emit infrared light from our body, and then it helps to reflect that back to stimulate those points to create a positive outcome. So there are many things we can do in Chinese medicine. So I'm happy to share that with you all today.
That's really interesting. It really is. I'll be in contact with you. I know that I've got a few things I'm going to be concentrating on my health. I've just realized I really want my hair back. It used to look like this. So, I want to focus the next year back again on doing some things, because my hair started growing, but then it stopped again. So anyways, I'll be in contact with you and with you over there up in that corner. So wonderful. See, there's so much great information that you shared on top of just, yes, Jody, go ahead.
I'd like to ask Renee 2 questions.
Sure.
One, I'm in Rochester once a month to visit my grandkids. They live up in Ontario. And could I come into the office for a sauna treatment once a month, or do I have to be like a regular patient to do that?
You absolutely can, Jody. So you do not need to be a regular acupuncture patient to use the sauna. I do have patients that just come for sauna services.
Okay.
So absolutely, I'd love to have you.
Okay. And the other question is, well, just so you know, I do acupuncture at the acupuncture clinic here at the college. So
there's some people there.
The other question was, I'm going to give you a little story before the question. This year, I have fallen 4 times. The first time I fell on black ice and broke both my radius and my ulna. I had to have surgery to have a plate put in to have it heal. The second time I stepped in a pothole and twisted my ankle. That wasn't anywhere near as serious. The third time I fell down a concrete stairs at my husband's other house that we have in Manoa. And I still have bruises on my legs from that. And as a matter of fact, what we're working on in acupuncture, it somehow affected a point on my knee, which is affecting, I think I have a hiatal hernia. And he was explaining to me that this whole thing goes up to the stomach. And so we're working on that. And this is back in July, I did that. And it's still affecting my stomach. And then just last week we were camping and I tripped and fell head first. Oh, it's so much better, so much better. Head first into a tree stump. And I've been taking arnica for that, which really helped. But the point of the story is I'm tired of falling. And I posted on Facebook the other day, and somebody suggested taking Tai Chi. So this was a very long way of getting to ask you, do you know anybody in the Seneca Falls area that does Tai Chi? Because I would really like to take some Tai Chi, but I really don't want to go to Rochester to do that.
I know, because there's some great centers here. Well, you can start with asking your acupuncturist. Your
Okay.
acupuncturist might be networked with some people in the area. I don't know if you'd be willing to go down. I know there's some good people in Trumansburg. I know that's still a little bit of a hike, but I
Yeah.
can send you his name too, is wonderful. Actually, one of my former teachers of Tai Chi and Qigong. But yeah, I would start with your acupuncturist
Okay.
and see if there's anybody in the area itself. But I'm happy to give you my contact down in Trumansburg as
All right,
well.
thanks.
And
My fear is if it's too far, I'm not going to do it. That's
Okay.
it's
Fair enough.
crazy. And also, I wanted to ask Linda, would you put that website in the chat for me, please? Thanks. All right, thank you. I'm done. You're muted, Tracy. You're muted.
No, this is the perfect time to have those questions and to ask each other stuff. So is there anybody else? Yes, Sadie.
I wanted to ask Jody about the Journey to Inner Peace. Do you do any of that through Zoom or online?
I have been trying to create an online course for over a year now. And this in-person Journey to Inner Peace is supposed to be my template for that online course. So eventually, yes. Right now, no.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you need any help, I don't know what kind of, oh, am I talking? Yes, I am. If you need any help, and I don't know if you need the technical help in putting together the course, there might be somebody through Women Ties that could help on that end, Jody, or whether it's, you know, something else organizational wise that you're trying to match, you know, different from being in person versus Zoom. So just keep that in mind. Anybody else with questions for anybody else? No.
Not a question, but I just wanted to mention to Linda that I did listen to one of the podcasts on your website, and I'm intending to go back and listen to more. I think it's very, very fascinating, this idea of normal lies. I love that. I've been kind of thinking about the normal lies in my life, you know?
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, I know. The normal lies get
Yes,
normalized,
yes.
right? And then we don't
Yep.
even see them. They're not even on our radar. So yeah, thank you.
Well, it's funny because Linda, if you ever want me to speak about, you know, just the normal lies of, you know, I look at myself today, I'm like, God, Tracy, you look good. And it's probably because I have makeup, lipstick and hair on for once, but really the normal lies too. And maybe you've talked about it, especially with people with alopecia, you know, where our beauty lies because we think it's, you know, it's our physical beauty when it truly isn't. It truly is what's within us. Because if we were stripped down, or if, you know, you have Jody who's got, you know, bruises on her face, or me that's bald out sometime, you know, all of us are just so nervous that people see that and they're, that's how they judge us, instead of really knowing who we are and knowing that they don't know how good of people we are inside. And there's other things that really truly matter more in life than what we look like. So if you ever want to, you may already have people you've had that discussion with, but it's always an interesting one to have. And I think it's a normalized so many women, you know, that I have to look a certain way to be accepted.
That's a really great point. And that's something, that's why I do the type of coaching that I do, is because it's filtering through all of those lies and what's underneath that, who we were born to be, like that beautiful, pure essence. When you get to know someone, or you just look in someone's eyes, you can, even if they're, you don't care for their personality, you can see that that's just their personality. That's not really who they are.
Right.
So,
Yeah, very true. I mean, I've often thought of the woman that really helped me in the very beginning when I was coping with losing all of my hair was a blind woman who, I don't know if you know the story or not, maybe I've written about it, maybe it was in my book, but she was a woman who was a seeing woman who was working, so she was in an ambulance and she hit her head on the side of an ambulance and became blind. And she was a veteran. I think she was working in the Army at the time, or the Navy, whatever, I think it was Army. And so what they did with her to try to help her integrate back into life was to get her involved in sports. And so she started doing tandem bike riding with a seeing person and with her biking. And she ended up going to the Rio Paralympics. And then she went to the Grand Canyon and walked the whole Grand Canyon with the help of 2 other people, like set a record. And recently she biked across the whole entire country blind with the help of somebody helping. And so she was the one that said to me, Tracy, stop looking in the mirror to find your beauty. It's really within yourself. And this was coming from a blind woman who couldn't look anymore in the mirror to even see what she looked like. So she really moved me to, that has never left my head, that statement. And it was just, and then the things I see her do, I'm just like, I don't know if I was blind, if I would bike across the country, and just not having hair is, so who cares? You know what I mean? It doesn't limit me really in what I have to do and what I love to do. So yeah, if you ever want to have that conversation, or I'd love to, I don't know if she's still doing interviews, but I'd love to connect you to her because she's just a really fascinating woman.
So just to elaborate on that a little bit, it sort of seems as though the normal lies kind of goes along a little bit with law of attraction. I think possibly.
Say more about that. How do you see
law of attraction? Well, I think that and more lately, and I don't know why, I noticed that some of my friends have one problem after another. One thing happens to them after another. But I think about their life and I think about their words and how they kind of talk about an expectation of something happening. Well, look what's happened to me again. It's like things come after me. And my instantaneous reaction in my head, I don't put it out there because I don't want people to think I'm judging them or trying to force them into a new way of thinking. But I feel that because they focus on the bad things that happen, or they talk about it too much, then their bad things are drawn to them. And sort of, to me, that's like normal lies. Well, you're making this up because it doesn't all happen just to you, and things don't have to happen. If you think differently, if you put yourself in a state of, wow, this happened to me, I'm going to get past this, or I'm going to do what I can to get past this. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't know. I mean, it's just a thought that occurred to me.
So that's a really great point, Sadie Ann, because I'm doing a program called the LFT Project. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's being offered here in Rochester through Rochester Lifestyle Medicine Institute. And they're actually starting one here coming up in October very soon. So if you go, and they're doing it virtually, so you can do it anywhere. And it's all about, I don't know if you've heard of the blue zones. So the blue zones are areas in the country, Renee knows. Yeah. So they've done studies on areas around the world where the people live the longest and the happiest and the healthiest. And they did studies to see what caused that. And they came up with these principles. And this Dr. Darren Morton has now taken all of that information and put it into this really great LIFT project. And one of the things is our thoughts. And he talks about our limbic system. I mean, it's all based on science, but it's all, to me, it's very intuitive. And what he teaches is 50% of our positivity, negativity is genetic. Okay, so it's in our genes. 10% is environment, and then the other 40% is up to us. So we choose, are we going to see things that are positive, or are we going to focus on the negative? So it's whatever we choose. And I also did a positive psychology coaching course. I've got my certificate in that. And that was one thing that they said, start your clients off. I start my clients off every session, share some wins with me, because I want them to start focusing on what's gone right, not just what's gone wrong.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Do you think they probably, just if we Google searched the LIFT, did you say LIFT program or LIFT project?
LIFT project. Let me see if I can find the link, and I can see if I can put it in the.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask too. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be great. And then we can
Great,
look
yeah.
up the blue zones, but yeah, it really is, it's interesting because a lot of people will say to me, you're very much like your mother, and my mother is very independent, feminist, go-getter, high energy. I'm like really calm compared to my mother. And then I'll say, I'm actually a little bit more like my father, who was a very even-keeled, happy-go-lucky, always look for the positive no matter what happened in life kind of person. My mom can be a little bit differently. So it's interesting you say that, because just recently, once in a while, my husband says, you're just like your mother. I'm like, no, I'm really much more like my dad. I'm very happy and and positive and all that stuff. So it's interesting you say part of it is genetics, because I do believe that to be true. And having so many siblings that I have, you see the differences in personality between siblings, and so it makes sense that if you get your brown eyes from your father, why couldn't you get your happy positiveness from your father as well, So very interesting. It just sort of struck a chord with me. Anybody else have any
I'm very
questions?
surprised to hear it's 50% genetic. That sounds like incredibly high. What if you're genetically predisposed to be negative? How do you overcome that?
That's a good point.
I think you are predisposed to overcome it.
Yeah.
I think it just means you work a little harder. Yeah. And Linda, there's, I think I'd seen the doctor speak at one of the Rochester Women Network meetings that you had mentioned, and he is incredible. I'm definitely going to look into the LIFT project, especially if there is one here. And I don't know if he's mentioned any evidence to show how working with people who are ill or have an illness, it could be in cancer, for example. I want to say maybe read this somewhere along the way, that individuals who tend to do more mind-body work or have this idea of positivity, if they are responding better physically. I mean, it makes sense in terms of the nervous system and how that affects so many different things from a physical standpoint. So if I'll look into see if he has presented any research on that, but if you have it, I'd love to see some of that too.
Yeah.
So I just put in the chat the link to the LIFT project, the global, but that Rochester Lifestyle Medicine Institute, it's Dr. Ted Barnett. And that has also lots of resources on there. And he's all about food as medicine and, lifestyle changes. So he would definitely, and they do have links to, Jumpstart if you want to go plant-based. They have 15-day Jumpstart programs. They offer the you can do the LIFT project, I believe, on your own, but it is fun to have a group to do it, because that's one of the things, is that social aspect is that they noticed in the blue zones.
Linda, I believe just from when we used to order lunches when we were all in person, are you vegan or vegetarian?
I'm vegan.
You're vegan, yeah.
Plant. Yeah, and that's funny too. I'm plant-based.
I was just going to ask, are you
Yeah.
vegan or plant-based? Because we're plant-based here too, but
Yeah.
not vegan, it's plant-based.
Yeah, it's
Although
very
we
different.
we cheat.
Well, I would love to say that I'm totally, but no, I mean, I have an occasional piece of cheese, or try to have it be an occasional piece of cheese.
Our downfall is alcohol.
Oh, well, alcohol. Well, I didn't even,
Vegan?
that has to stay on the taste. On the table. I'm sorry.
Region, wine country.
Right. Sorry.
We actually went plant-based when my husband was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Yeah.
And I personally, his PSA, I don't know if you know PSA numbers at all. His PSA when he was first diagnosed was 20, which anything over 8 or 9 is considered dangerous.
Oh, wow.
And within 6 months of being on the plant-based diet, and he's doing hormone therapy too. He's that it's hormonal castration is what it is. Testosterone evidently feeds the prostate cancer, so they are suppressing his testosterone to yeah, this is fun. But anyway, between going on the plant-based diet and the hormone therapy, his PSA is now down below 0.1.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I don't think either one by itself would have had that big of an effect, but putting the two together makes it synergy.
Right.
Yeah.
That really, and he's supposed to start radiation therapy sometime soon.
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons, and I should.
Prostate cancer is one of the most easily treatable cancers. So sorry.
Yeah, I think why women, in a sense, outlive men is I think that we're so naturally interested in this type of information, from acupuncture to health coaching to, plant-based, to vitamins, and if we could just get our husbands to, to kind of come along with us, I think they'd have, longer lives. So this has been.
I need to say that Dave is sticking to the plant-based diet better than I am.
Oh, good for
I
you.
have to have my seafood.
Oh, I just came from Maine or Massachusetts, and I have the best oysters there. I mean, I've been craving seafood ever since I've been back from Massachusetts. So yeah, I couldn't give up seafood, but I'm pretty much, I don't eat meat, so.
Tracy, I just came from Maine and I had some amazing lobster. So good.
Just not the same. My husband and I went out to one of my favorite Italian restaurants for our anniversary, and we had scallops on it. I'm like, I don't know, not like the fresh drawn oysters of Cape Cod, or Cape Cod and Martha's Vineyard too is where we were. So yeah, you can't beat it. Good for you. Well, this has been, it's really interesting that the makeup of who we have on these calls are always different based on who's on and how the conversation goes. So I really appreciate that today was kind of focused on our health and focused on food and keeping ourselves all healthy. So is there anything else or any other questions before I wrap it up and we move on to anything else? No? Okay, well, I hope you got to get an essence of people a little bit more through this conversation, which I think helps to connect us to then buy from women and suggest them more than just our 30-second pitches. So, well, I just want to say again, I'm going to start up the Women of the Week interviews to put on our YouTube videos. So Linda, Renee, Sadie Ann, you still don't have interviews yet. 45 minutes. We talk about, it's a natural conversation, but we can kind of pull in something that you're promoting. So very similar to this. All you have to do is email me and we'll get it set up. We are going to officially do another in-person event in Rochester on October 27th. Lori DiProspero really wanted to host another event at her very big, beautiful coffee roasting. It's going to be from 10 to 12, so anybody can stop in during that time. And I'm going to be setting up a Utica Rome one in November as well. And then just to see how people are reacting with live events. I know we want to keep doing Zoom, which I'm happy to do, but I'm interested in testing the waters just a little bit with a couple live events. So be looking for them. And our next member only meeting will be November 2nd, which is election day. Oh my gosh, hopefully a little less crazy as last election day. So wear your red, white, and blue if you want, and your party hat, and we'll and vote for women before or after a meeting. And again, if you have any events that you have coming up that you would like me to promote on Women Ties on the website itself and in the Wednesday Wisdom, you can just email them to me. I've been doing that since the pandemic, and you know, the website link goes to your website, but I also have it on the site itself. So it's just, again, it's more PR that I can give to you. I will send you the recording by tomorrow at the very latest. And is there anything else or any other thoughts before we go? No?
What is the best email, Tracy, to send a testimonial?
I know. The Women Ties 33@gmail.com.
Would you be able to put that in the chat?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah, I know that sometimes it comes out of Google as business at Women Ties. I think that still comes to me. So there is that. That's the best one. But if you, yeah, just try that one. I don't want to give you the wrong one. So once again, thank you so very much for joining me. You make my day. I mean, you just took my worried mind and heart off my aunt and just made this just a really great hour. So I hope you felt it too. I hope that you remember to buy from women first and foremost, and especially your girlfriends here in Women Ties as well. And we'll see you on election day, but of course, email me in between or call me if you need anything.
Praying for your aunt.
Yes. Thank you so much. I know. I'm going to go bike out my energy. That's what I do. Take the wig off, put on the baseball hat, and bike away. I don't know if you saw my thing. We've ended up biking 40 miles on Martha's Vineyard, like little crazy people. So that was kind of cool. You know, I didn't think I would ever do it. I think it was easier than running 26.1 in the Boston Marathon. Yeah. So
well, that was
what?
That was an incredible story that you wrote, that about just the angels that were put in your path, right?
Like me, I mean, there was a guy too that I didn't even write in the story that saw us at the one restaurant where the girl wouldn't let me not buy the chocolate chip cookie. My husband's like, don't post this stuff. People are going to think that we're like beggars. I'm like, I didn't beg for anything. I was just, people were just naturally so gracious. And this guy said to me, he goes, hey, I'm from Chilmarks, which is on the one opposite end of the island. And he's like, hey, you want to give me a ride to my house? And I said, well, if you fit my basket, I'm happy to give you a ride. Well, he must have like followed us so he was beeping and waving like half of the way there. So we had him, and then we had the girl that gave us the $1 for the thing, and then the people, we had absolutely no water, and then the people willing to give us their own water, and then and then we're biking back and they're going by us waving. I'm like, where am I? This is like almost heaven. You know, that so many people are so gracious and good, and what the media does not focus on is those stories.
Exactly.
Rotten people are, and they're fighting and they're blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not true. It's not true.
No.
But I'm
it's
glad
a lie.
It's a normal lie. You're right. We're good. Well, I hope that story inspires you too. And that's why biking 40 miles really I was on a high. I didn't want it to end. So, you know, get out there and bike sometimes too. But we'll see you next month. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Good to see everybody.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Tracy.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. Let me. It's gonna keep. Let me push the.
You don't want to record.
Let me just record for a minute.